Prakash Singh, Dean of SOP, SE Department, New Shillong. His field of expertise is on the signal processing and its applications. And our second chairman is Professor Rupavan Subadar, head of ECE Department, New Shillong. And his fields of expertise are in electrical and electronic engineering, theory of wireless and communication. And our speakers for this session are Sumeet Verma and Anbumani Subramanian. I now request our speaker to come on the stage.
Online or online?
So without further ado, I now request our dean to share his.
Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Sumeet. Let me just give a little introduction. So we have two speakers here. Actually, they will be presenting this Intel Unnati. So the first one is Mr. Actually Sumeet Verma, Director Research Growth Initiatives from Intel. Yeah, it's there. Hello, sir. And the other one is Mr. Anbumani Subramanian, Principal Engineer Intel. So welcome, sir. So over to you, sir.
Thank you. Can you hear me okay? I
Yes,
hear
sir,
a
we
lot
can
of
hear.
echo.
Yeah, we can hear echo. Volume. No,
So
here
shall I
also.
continue?
Please.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, everyone. And special thanks to ICDEC 2022 team for having us talk to you guys. I've been asked to come and give an overview of the new exciting program that Intel India launched last year called Intel Unnati. I would be tag teaming with my colleague Anbumani here. While I provide you a quick overview, we understand the audience would like to uh, understand more how Intel is uh, using and applying AI in some of our interesting projects in the ecosystem. And Anbumani will share AI for road safety and how Intel India is taking that forward. The way we want to do it, I will provide a quick overview in about 10 minutes, and then Anbu will share, what Intel India is looking into AI for road safety. With that, let me just give you some background context on, what is this program, exciting program that we launched last year about, right? Uh, So if you look into the background, we are now in Industry 4.0, which is the fourth industrial revolution, bringing about transformation in manufacturing and industry. This is characterized by widespread of cyber physical systems, IoT, Internet of services, etc. So I'm not going to go in detail because it's common knowledge now, at least to this audience. Uh, but what we really want to know is, how the growth of India, the $1 trillion digital economy, and how the data centric world will have an important role to play. Just a quick economics. Until couple of years ago, when India's GDP was $3 trillion, the uh, technical or the digital contribution in that was about 7%. Uh, Whereas once the digital economy GDP of India is said to be $5 trillion by 2025, the digital portion of that economy is going to be 20%, which is $1 trillion. And that's why the entire tech industry in India are very excited, because this is $1 trillion digital transformation is a great opportunity for the entire India tech ecosystem, right? So that's the big opportunity that's in front of us. Having said that, there is big industry skill gaps that exist in the largest higher education system in the world. right? Uh, the education system in India is extremely big. Uh, 1 million engineers graduate every year, 6,000 plus AICTE colleges. Um, while the government of India's budget allocation is kind of increasing, the expenditure allocated is about 5.5 billion dollars. Uh, and there's also increased spending and allocation that the national education policy uh, will lead to. But overall, at least the goal is that the expenditure towards education should be about 6% of GDP to match some of the global uh, countries. And if we see all the global countries that are ahead in GDP, all have a very strong higher education system as well as significant investment in higher education, in education and research as a percentage to GDP, right? So that's the challenge that India has. And while India has the third largest startup ecosystem now, another opportunity I want to say is the number of developer base, right? Uh, the current developer base, about 6 million developers in India, is set to be 10 millions in next couple of years. And then that will be probably the largest developer base in the world, overtaking US. So great, uh, great opportunities that we have. And what we are talking about is the new India, the new education base that is thriving, that new India, which has hunger of knowledge, right? And there now seems to be, sufficient money and resources in the system, as I was kind of telling you. It's not the same story as it was when we were studying 25 years ago or 30 years ago, right? Things have drastically changed. So what uh, we have done is, you know, uh, because Intel and industry used to get requests asking them to bridge the skill gap in the education space. And while Intel was working on programs, right? So we had programs that we were working with to select colleges typically, which are maybe 30, 40 colleges or so. Uh, but we still couldn't get the scale impact, right? And in order to get the scale impact, we needed to create a program that is sustainable, scalable, uh, and work through a set of ecosystem partnerships, right? So this comprehensive program, which we call Intel Unnati, was created to bridge the skill gap in Indian education system at scale. So this is a comprehensive program that sets up data-centric labs with choice of multiple technologies and equip students in the fast-paced data-centric world. The course offers hardware and software stacks, as you see in the left-hand side. The focus is on uh, training and workshops. There are course content that have been vetted by industry. And all these labs that are set it up are customized and personalized by a set of approved Intel system integrators. And currently, they are available in a half a dozen categories. You have in AI, in FPGA, AI IoT, smart mobility. Four are already existing, and couple are on the way, which is HPC and Habana Gaudi, which is for AI training. Uh, Having said that, it's not just setting up of the labs, right? So we got the feedback from the ecosystem saying that, okay, you give the content, we do the workshops, we do the training, the lab is per industry standards. But how do you create a continuous amount of support and interaction and feedback loop back to the industry so the program doesn't stop at setting up of labs or training? We built an active community that will focus on experiential learning, innovation, and research. And starting couple of months ago, we have introduced focused initiatives as part of Intel Unnati, uh, being Grand Challenge, which will run industry-specific challenge for students, Intel Ignite and Catalyst for knowledge sharing and workshops, and Research Launchpad to provide research grants on industry specific topics to top researchers in the community. Our goal for this year is to set up 100 labs in the country. And as we stand today, we have 75 labs have been initiated. Okay. Uh, this is why, Intel Unnati data-centric labs have a, a very balanced view from an industry perspective, and four key bullets that stand out. First one is to equip the students with industry relevant data centric skills in multiple technology areas. Second is to advance through technology inclusion because of the different variants of lab that's available, tailored approach. Third is to unleash the students' creative potential from an industry perspective and be participating in this community outreach programs. And fourth is to, since these are co-branded, it provides institute with an opportunity to, focus on faculty development, student development through Intel's brand and the approved system integrators that will work on this program, focused, personalized to each organization. Okay. Uh, so yeah, I understand many institutes are participating in this conference, and most of the institutions would already have various types of labs, which may be structured or not in that structure or may require an upgrade. So all of you, what I want to say is you are welcome to participate in the Intel Unnati program for your organizations. Um, as well as institutions and departments that you think would be a good fit for this program. And thanks for listening. And I hope you have a great time in rest of the conference. And I'm going to pass this to my colleague Anbu, who is going to provide a tech talk on AI for road safety. Thank you everyone for listening. Over to you, Anbu.
Thanks, Sumeet. Good evening, everyone. I'm happy to be talking at this event. Wish I could be there in person. So still get started. So as Sumit mentioned, I'm here to talk about applying AI for road safety in the next 20 to 30 minutes. I wanted to give you an idea of what what does it mean when we say using artificial intelligence or machine learning for road safety mean. What does it mean? And it's a snippet of what is possible. Sharing my screen, and I hope you can see it. Okay. I hope you can see my screen and also hear me well. Okay, let's get started. So here is an outline of the next 20 minutes. What I will talk. I'll talk about why is safety important. How is ADAS in this world of safety playing a big role? What does it how can we what can we do with the AI to work on this road safety? And I'll talk about what we in Intel have been doing specifically on this. How have we been working with academia in promoting research that is good for Indian and global frontiers. So in the next 20 minutes, when I refer to AD, it will be autonomous driving, and ADAS is advanced driver assistance systems, which means it's not automatically driven, but rather it's assisting the driver. It could be any system that assists the driver in an automobile or a car. So why is driver assistance important? Because it helps prevent accidents on the roads, and it saves and it reduces the human error, and so it enhances the safety on the road for everyone. And studies have shown that human error is the single biggest reason for most accidents in several countries. And this driver assistance system, if a collision happens, could prevent or lower the injuries that are impact that are put on people involved in this, and it can help improve the survival rate when an accident, if and when an accident happens. So therefore, driver assistance systems are important for especially for a country like us. Okay. So many of you may have seen this, the Society of Automobile Engineering's 5 levels of autonomy, and it's well acknowledged that 2 and 3 is when the tipping point into autonomous vehicles or autonomous driving systems happen, and that there are enough instances where this is happening. And here are 2 examples, one from Tesla, the other one from Mobileye, demonstrating full autonomy of navigation on public road with no scripted path or anything. So the technology has developed so well that it is indeed possible, but there are some challenges here. But why talk about safety? Because road safety is a big societal problem, and it's a leading killer, leading killer in the age group of under 30, and has a lot of deaths. And in India, people who have been reading the news, there was a very much talked about road accident that happened just a few days back, and we lose about 150,000, a lakh and 50,000 people every year, and most of this is in the well productive age group of 18 to 25, and there have been some estimates on how much accident costs, both in terms of a death or an injured person, and it's about 3.3% of the GDP, which is 4.3 lakh crores. It's huge, and this is a very staggering statistic. India, we as a country have only 1% of the number of vehicles in the world, but our country has 11% of all the road deaths that happen in the entire world. So how safe are our the Indian roads? This is by the time we finish this this talk, 18 or 20 people would have been killed. That's an average statistic, and we are way behind the target on some of our own accident reduction metrics that we have had. So we lose close to one whole city in the country every year due to road accidents. That's the stark reality of how safe the roads are. So we have goals of reducing accidents by 50%. We have new road safety board, and there have been comments that the road accidents are more dangerous than other pandemics and other things. So with that, if you look in how what has happened in automobile safety, the evolution, the airbags that are now becoming mandatory with 6 in India, that started in 1980s, okay, with an airbag and an ABS system, and the side airbags were developed in 90s. You really see this is how the technology progressed. The adaptive cruise control, blind spot, lane departure warning, all those were almost 15 and 20 years back. The technology was developed, and now we are talking about lane keep assist, and now we are completely talking about autonomous driving in 2020, 2025, and this is how the progression has happened. But some of the basic features that are helpful in road accident reduction are the airbags, and then the adaptive driver assistance systems. Okay. So that's where this ADAS contributes a big time for road safety. So what is ADAS? These are vehicle intelligent safety systems that are installed in a car or automobile that provide road safety or road crash protection or post crash phases. They help. So there are multiple sensors that are used in an automobile or a car, including the camera, radar, and infrared sensors. All of them provide different kinds of safety, and so ADAS together is composition or is a constituent of multiple technologies, small and independent systems, autonomous systems, but together they help give you the safety for the drive of the people inside and also for the people outside. So there are a lot of features that are being talked about as ADAS, but I will talk about these two specific groups are of high interest. One is the about the driver. The other one is on the set of features that are where AI helps you watch what's happening on the road. So those are the collision avoidance systems. So there are multiple collision avoidance systems. I just wanted to highlight, some of these. These are quite popular collision avoidance systems. These are installed on the vehicle. So there is typically a camera that is front facing, looking at the road, and if there is any collision or possible accident that can happen, it alerts the driver few seconds, 2 seconds before the driver. For example, if the driver is drowsy or not paying attention or distracted, there could be a vehicle that is in front that he had not seen, and such kind of situations, these collision avoidance systems help predict and or help monitor and give an alert just 1 second or 2 seconds before. And studies have shown that such kind of alert 1 or 2 seconds before an actual accident can help in saving lives of both the vehicle and the person on the road. So therefore, these are critical, highly important road safety systems. There is also the driver monitoring systems that are emerging, where the driver fatigue or distraction are monitored and then alerted. So these are typically inward-facing cameras looking at the driver and giving alerts. These are some of the quite popular driver monitoring systems that are available. So ADAS in India, you see, was introduced and made big news in last year with the MG Gloster and now with the XUV 700. So it boasts about different ADAS features, and now we are beginning to see this in our market. So how can AI help in or assist in designing road safety systems? So as I mentioned, here is the 5 levels of driving ICE, driving automation. This is another way of looking at it, whether there is a human driver and assisted system. So you can see that as the 3 is when the tipping point happens. Here is a different view of the same thing in terms of the AI. L0 is a starting point, and L4, L5 is near full autonomy, and L1, L2, L3 are human-centered autonomy. AI is not fully responsible, but it's assisting the human driver. So there are, for ADAS AI, we would need a lot of multiple sensors and fusion of the sensory data in real time. Here is an example, and this is typically done with a neural network or a deep learning system, and this could the computation of the real-time computation of it involves very high-end compute engine that processes all the sensory data in real time, in parallel, simultaneously, and predicting what will happen if there is a pedestrian ahead. What's the distance, and hence at the current speed that this vehicle is driving, how soon will the collision, if it happens or if it is possible, will happen. So this is all done with AI and deep learning systems these days. So for designing these AI and deep learning systems, it's important that the sensory data is very critical. That forms the fundamental basis of this system, and techniques like machine learning, computation, and data sciences play a big role in delivering, in creating this entire autonomous driving and the driver assist systems. So if you see, machine learning is built on, or any of the machine learning or deep learning systems are built on data. So the importance of data is huge in building such systems. These systems expect a huge volume of data typically, and also a diverse kind of data, so that the system learns all kinds of scenarios possible. So volume and the diversity of data is important in machine learning, deep learning systems. And when we start the volume of data, if you are an AI machine researcher and you are looking at building such autonomous driving systems or want to get there, in the research, academic research world, there are a lot of data sets that offer a huge volume of data. This is slightly dated, but these are the two quite popular data sets in a few years back, CT and Cityscapes. So one can download, these are open data sets, one can download and start developing algorithms. But there was very less diversity of data. And especially on the roads like in India, the diversity of objects on these roads are huge and highly varying. There were no such examples of such diversity on the roads. So that's the gap that we figured out, that this is almost 4-5 years back, and we very closely worked with IIIT Hyderabad in developing such one such work. So as I mentioned, the Indian roads have a lot of odd-shaped vehicles and challenging driving areas. One could drive between the vehicles. So these are all very interesting scenarios for a researcher if you are in this space. And there are people everywhere. These are not challenges, but these are really research opportunities on developing better algorithms and better approaches. So that's where we created this India driving dataset. It is an outcome of IIIT Hyderabad and the Intel's academic research collaboration, started 5 years back. So as I mentioned, data is makes AI possible with the volume and the variety, because it gives you the better learning and reasoning. So we created IDD as the first public data set of unstructured driving conditions from India, and it has been received quite very well in the global research community. Our primary idea is to enable AI research in these driving conditions, and therefore lead to innovations or any possible new solutions for safe mobility and road safety in the country and everywhere in the world. So as I mentioned, when we released this data set in 2018, there were very few at that time, and our goal was to create twice the size of the most popular data set at that time. And when we released it, there are multiple other data sets. Still, this IDD holds the record of being the very curated and high quality data set that's well listed in the community. And we have had a long journey with the IIIT and Intel. We have had 5 different data challenges, global data challenges, where people from across the world participated in international tier 1, highly reputed conferences like CVPR, ICCV, ECCV. And we have also had challenges within India for students in India, where over 350 students have participated in developing different methods and algorithms on using the same IDD dataset. And we continue to work on this, and this has been a very rewarding research work that's come out of our collaboration. And it was also used in the Niti Aayog's Global Mobility Hackathon for creating a new innovation solution. So the winning teams received about 1 crore for proposing one of these problems, and this dataset was used in that. We have totally released over 5 datasets in the last 5 years, and this is all available for anyone to do open research. So coming back to this question, I want to ask everyone in the audience, how can we, through our research, participate or contribute in road safety and thereby help save lives in India or elsewhere in the world? So that's a thought I want to leave with you. So I'll summarize here. I hope I have convinced you that road safety is a societal problem for the world and for us in India in particular. Unstructured road conditions in India are a source of interesting problems. They are not a challenge, but they are very interesting for research. We can use AI and machine learning to solve practical problems in perception navigation, and IDD or India Driving Dataset is one open dataset that is freely available for research. You can use it for solving real-world problems, which could lead to better road safety systems. So the call to action that I want to put in front of the audience here is, if you are a student, pick an interesting problem for research and publish. And if you are a faculty, guide the students for solving socially relevant and real world problems. Thank you for the opportunity. and I'll stop here. If anyone is interested, you can download the dataset from this URL. I'll stop here.
Okay. Hello.
Hello. Yes.
Yeah. Sir, can we take some questions from our audience now?
Yes.
If any. Okay. So now the session is open for any question. So
I'll stop sharing my screen. So, Sumeet mentioned this is one example of what Intel has been doing towards road safety in AI in India with academic collaboration.
sir, we have a question from audience. Sir, please.
So my question is, if I download the IDD, so is there any kind of licensing? Like, is it completely free, or I have to sign some?
There is no license or anything, but there is an agreement that anyone downloads saying that this is intended for research purposes. That you will someone downloading is not reselling or repackaging. That's the basic kind of end user agreement that is there. Other than that, there is no other license. Anyone is free to download it from that URL.
Since this is part of that Intel Unnati program or something that is in collaboration with different institutes. So if one institute is not part of that program, can they also participate in that data usage and contribution, etc.? Or
The data is open to anyone. So it's not just for people in India, or it's open to everyone in the world. So there are no challenges organized at present in any workshop or this thing. But you are free to download the data, use it for your research. Yes.
Any more question? Sir is also having one question.
Hello. This Intel is providing lab services and training programs to the team. So in that respect, how our department say electronics and communication engineering department can or avail the help or services provided by the Intel. Particularly, I am talking in the field of silicon photonics because I come to know that Intel also has developed and commercializing 100 Gbps transceiver for data centers. So in that line, is there any support is available?
I partially hear the question. I'm not able to hear, but I think you asked about something about the data center.
Yeah.
Or some support from Intel. I let Sumeet answer that. He is the better person to respond on that. Sumeet, if you are there. Yeah. Because Sumeet is aware of the academic support Intel provides for all academics in India. So he will be the better person to talk.
Okay.
Sir is also having. In the meantime, we can take another question, na?
Yeah.
Because I was seeing Sumit, maybe his some network issue, maybe there. Okay, so once Sumit,
I can hear now. I can hear now. Can you please repeat the question?
Okay, sir is there.
Sumeet, there was some question in the audience asking about Intel's support for academics in the data center, or I could not hear the question properly. Sir, can you repeat that question?
Sir, can you repeat your question?
Yeah, actually, we need support to design high-speed transceiver. The way Intel has come up with 100 Gbps transceiver using silicon photonics.
Kya Cooper? Can you take this time?
It is commercialized by Intel. 100 Gbps.
Take this in.
Just a minute.
Hello, now audible? Hello? Huh? Okay. Okay. Yeah, so my question is Intel has come up with very high data rate transceiver, that is 100 Gbps transceiver using silicon photonics. So we are also working in the silicon photonics in the same domain. So in this way, how Intel can support to our laboratory to do R&D and to provide training and workshop, etc. under this Unnati program. Am I clear?
Okay.
So far as, yeah.
The question is clear. Can you please help introduce which organization are you from or lab?
I'm from Electronics and Communication Engineering Department, Nehu Shillong.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, there is a limited scope of Unnati right now. As you would have seen, there are four key areas that we're looking at: AI, IoT, FPGA, smart mobility, right?
Yeah.
And the reason to that is, although there are multiple technologies in the data centric space, we want to start with a few and then grow over a period of time. So under Intel Unnati, I don't think silicon photonics or um, any research in that space is available. But having said that, Intel organization in general has research interest in this space.
Yeah.
Uh, so I think what you can do is you can ask your contact to reach out, and we will keep you posted. Now and then there are some RFP calls that goes out. That is request for proposal on some specific areas, and you can see if that matches your interest. That's one area I could look into.
Okay.
Um, but on the other side, coming back to Unnati, I think if you could also give some more details on what uh, research work you're already doing, right? And then I'll have the team look into that if something can be planned under Intel Unnati in the coming time.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the question.
One more question is there from audience. Please take that.
Yeah. Actually, I am Dr. Ayatullah Farooq Mullah, an assistant professor of computer science and engineering of Alia University, Kolkata. Basically, I have a couple of queries. The first one is in your presentation, you have mostly discussed about the Unnati program and driver assistance. Problems related to driver assistance and so. The question is, besides this, what are the other areas in which Intel India is carrying out some research? That is one. The second one is, what kind of support or collaboration from academics can actually help Intel. For example, in terms of what we call intensive or kind of training program or different kind of support, you know? So there are different tools. So whether any such options are there for our bright students, to be in touch and to collaborate and to work to contribute in the problems. You know?
Okay, thank you for the question. I can take up this one as well. Essentially, although Intel corporate has interest research in wide areas of interest, right? Um, and most of them is focused in US centric regions and sometime in Europe. Intel India started its own research endeavors a few years ago. The focus areas that we look into are computer architecture, not limiting, but just key few to give you an idea. Computer architecture, including near memory and memory related stuff. We look into AI and applied AI. We look into communications and 5G. We are also looking into VLSI and VLSI spaces in terms of design and optimizing the whole process in terms of testing and validation, etc. So those are the key areas we are currently focusing in. And to your question as to how can other benefits can come to students, etc. While there's a standard internship and recruitment model that Intel India has, that they run to some of the key universities that they've already been engaging with, we always have this conversation that we should try out new talents from newer parts of India rather than going to same schools year after year. And also there is a new proposal that we are saying is that sometimes it is better to take top students from uh, non-core colleges than taking average students from your core colleges, right? In terms of internship and recruitment. So from that perspective, the talent team is fairly open to the idea, and in fact, Intel Unnati, through its community program, allows bright students to come and do internship and Intel, which could further lead to a full-time placement as well. Like the first rapid challenge that we did a couple of months ago, uh, and as I'm saying, Intel Unnati is a new program, so this was the first challenge that we did. The winning teams got a chance to sit in the internship panel for the internship panel, and a few students from them have been selected to participate, right? And these are the students, bright students from colleges that Intel typically doesn't go to. So yeah, there is an opportunity for that as well.
Okay, thank you.
Any other question from audience? If there is no more question from the audience, we can come to the conclusion of this particular program. Let us give a big round of applause for both the presenter from the Intel. I am very happy that I have been given this opportunity to share this particular session. And this session is very, that means timely, that means this is the demand of the time actually. And we are having differences or distance between the academia and industry, and this type of session definitely will reduce the gap. The government is also emphasizing on it. In NEP, it is being directly, that means given the instruction that the educational institutions need to, that means have good relationship with industry, so that student directly can go from academics to the industry. So thank you, Sir Anbumani and Sir Sumeet Verma for giving these interactive sessions. We are really enlightened with your speech. So thank you very much from the conference side as well as from my department side. And I hope all the faculty members over here, all the students over here, they get benefited from your speech. Thank you, sir. So
Thank
I
you,
am
and
closing the session.
we all wish ICDEC a grand success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye.
So we can conclude. Huh?
Thank you, Professor, and thank you all for all your cooperation. We will be having the cultural programs on banquet dinner at Community Hall from 7 p.m. onwards, so kindly join us. Thank you.